Coming to you live from wherever the heck Jeremy wants to bring it to you from. This is Live with 55. All right, let's try this again. Welcome, everybody, to this week's episode of Live with 55. As you can tell from the jumbo projectortron in the background, we're coming here to you live from, I bet Teresa was like, of course he gave me credit. They weren't rolling. Had a little technical difficulties. Easy for me to say. I was trying to figure out where everybody was. What's up, Brian, in the chat? And I was like, my chat's not here. Oh, crap. I forgot I set this up earlier so I could look to see how everything looked like prior to doing this. So everything's good now. We're live.
Jeff.
What's that?
Jeff
left, but he came back, and we appreciate that. We got a good show for y'all tonight. We're going to talk about the football schedule release that just occurred. Talk about last night's basketball game. Me, Sam, Wes had VIP access, and why didn't y'all tell me I wasn't on the screen? I'm sitting here like looking like I'm talking. I don't know what it looked like I was doing, but I wasn't. We're gonna have a good show tonight. Yeah, pause, big time. I was like, man, and I looked. I have a habit of doing that, though, looking down at my notes and stuff while I talk. So it is what it is. Got a packed show for y'all tonight. First off, I want to introduce my co-host of Live with 55. As always, you can find him on Twitter at WestKeys_CSZ. And 9 out of 10 times he does have the keys to victory. It's up to our teams to follow them or not. It's the phenomenal Wes Keys.
What's going on, y'all?
What's up? What's up? Joining us tonight from our other show, the CSZ Podcast, which you can find most Sundays. If our next guest can hurry up and get eliminated from the NFL playoffs, we'd appreciate it so we can restart that show. There's been more of these than we thought, but we're saving episode 200 for him. He deserves it. It's a special spot that we have for him, and we wouldn't just do that for anyone.
We are not worthy.
No, for sure. And we're going to talk about everything. Speaking of not worthy, man, I was so humbled last night, seeing so many old friends. It was awesome. Kevin Watson, John Lindeman, Greg in the building, Robbie, what's up?
Yo.
Is that Sis? What's up, Sis? I think that's Sis. It looks like Sis. Look, we're going to have a good time tonight. That's what we do.
That is Sid.
It is, isn't it? Listen, we're going to talk about some new sponsorships that we're going to start rolling out here with the next Cardinal Sports Zone podcast, but we will also look, let's go ahead and do this. Can we get that on the screen? Is it? Oh, no, hope it don't go to any porn while we're talking. That'd be weird. Not that I have any. I'm just kidding. I don't have any of that.
Delete the browser history.
I'm trying.
Delete.
Look.
Abort.
You know what? Let's go ahead and pull this graphic down for a few. Y'all can see where y'all can get us on social media and stuff. We'll pull this graphic down for just a second so y'all can see all the nice stuff we've done with the place. One of our new sponsors, Cherry Picking, mention Cardinal Sports Zone. Mention that you saw this on the CSZ podcast on Live with 55. Just say Cardinal Sports Zone. There we have the promo code is for 20% off, I believe. Wasn't that what we said the other day?
Yeah.
You give him too much, and then Sydney's like punching me for it. Our other new sponsor, Shoot 360. Our guy Peyton Siva and us have joined up. We're going to get some promo codes for all these places. But yeah, we're gonna have a good time. New sponsor. Look, I'm trying to shout out to our old sponsors though. Boom, the Collision Course crew. Boom, Fitness Market. Look, when you get a new toy, you just play with it. You don't care. And come on, let's give them a little bit more room than that. 4 Pegs. Love it. Where's the other one at? It's our new look. As I go through all this and y'all see stuff, it's cool. Where is the other pig? Oh, is it there? Oh, it's our guys, Paul Thomas and crew out at Mossy Oak Properties with Hart Realty. We're going to get a commercial and stuff set up for them so y'all know exactly what they do. And, man, we're just going to have a good time. that's what we do here on Live with 55. Again, we're going to just leave all the graphics off for now, so that way y'all can see my pretty face as well. Yep, John Lindemann. What is cherry picking, Chad? Great question. It is a juice bar down. It's a juicery downtown. In would you consider it Nulu? Is it Nulu?
Yeah, Nulu.
Nulu, and they provide some very very delicious choices. Sydney, you're watching, so send me a script to read out. But like, it's a great environment. You go in there, it's a family feel. It's great people there run it, own it. It's a family business, and they've got great choices as far as juices and other stuff there. So it's Sydney Smith. Shout out to Sis. She owns that. She runs it. And she does a really, really good job at it, and we appreciate her. Absolutely, John. We're ready for some football. Let's throw some comments up. Chad Brocky says, "What's up, fellas?" Okay, I like this. I wish it would stay like this. Walter Hell says, "Atlanta in the house." As I just noticed that Tanner has got the emo changing LED lights in the background. I don't hate it.
Oh no, that's just my TV.
Oh, okay. Well,
I'm sitting right next to the TV.
Anyway. Kevin Watson, what's up? All right, Brian, real quick. We'll answer your question before we hop into the thickest stuff. For those of you who made the trip to Notre Dame, how hard was it to get a ticket? For me, it wasn't very hard at all. My dad's side of the family had been season ticket holders for 100 years. So we got in. We were 10 rows up in the end zone, made a lot of Notre Dame fans angry, and it was an awesome time. Did any of y'all make the trip to Notre Dame?
Nope. I've never been.
I did not.
Okay. Well, here's what I will say, and shout out to Sydney, who is laughing. I've got to tell you after the show the idea I had for tonight that don't look like it's going to go through. T. Will, what's good, man? Appreciate it. Yeah, I had a really good idea. I don't know what I just did. I'm about to mess it up.
What up, T. Will?
No, you're not late, man. We just got it going. I'm trying to play with some equipment that I just got. Oh, it is Sam. He picked Miami Basin. Yeah, absolutely. I have to announce. Look, I got so carried away. Shout out to John. Let's go ahead and throw that up on the screen. Our guest, I think Tanner's pretty much going to be a permanent fixture here as well. But it's our football and our women's basketball head beat writer for CardinalSportsZone.com, which today, congratulations to the site, 10,000 stories lifetime posted. It should be way more than that, but we got into the media game. We started doing these. So less stories, more content. Appreciate it. This post is out there. If you haven't read it and you've been a part of Cardinal Sports Zone in your life, read it. I said a lot of good things about everybody, and nobody had to pay me to say them either. Chad says, "I'll be there in Notre Dame. I went last time. It was a blast. They let us on the field to take pictures. I will say that." According to ESPN, tickets for the Notre Dame game are as low as $91. Tanner, you're on here forever, man. I love that. Higgy don't ever do anything but like eat. When he's on the show, he just sits there and eats. Second meal,
He really does.
Fourth meal, 50 meal, 55th meal.
Hey,
And
shout out to
also, not to mention, he may get very testy.
Oh yeah, he gets angry when he's not ate 7 times in that 6 o'clock hour. It's nutty. John Lindemann says he's hoping him and Casey can make the Notre Dame game. Yeah, that'd be cute. I'd like to see y'all up there. I love that relationship that y'all have. No Romo. All right. Well, I've got the chat line all caught up for now. Let me check on the phone because this is a live program. So sometimes, oh no, can y'all see my? Oh crap! Look, I just texted just to show y'all with Sean. I sat here and asked him for a list.
That is a text
of ats for the story that I wrote, and instead of putting them together, he sent them to me one by one. Which, thanks a lot, Sean. This explains a lot to me why you're still single at the age of 472. So, okay, y'all can't really see the numbers and stuff, so that's cool. Did Nolan tell you my idea? LOL. All right, she'll write me back. I hate writing out LOL like it. Haha.
Like
Whatever.
you a teenage girl?
No, I don't use emojis. I'm not Steve Rummage. I don't use emojis. So,
Damn, way to throw your boy under the bus.
well, you threw the ball up there. Unlike our basketball team, I can finish. I don't
Damn.
miss.
Perfect segue.
Listen, perfect segue. Let me get the volume in the studio up because I think I was when I. All right, Sam, are you there?
Yeah, I'm still here.
Okay, I can hear you. All right, perfect segue. Let's talk about that first. Last night, Louisville basketball and Duke play. Well, they played a game. Not a win, but it was a great time. I mean, Sam, you were there. Listen, Sam turned into bougie Sam on all of us. We ain't seen him hardly at no games, nothing. In the last 3 games, he's been sitting front row. Last night I was like, "Hey man, why don't you come down and sit with me and Wes and Teresa?" And he's like, "Well, I might be in the suite, so I don't know if I can join y'all." And I'm like, "Oh, bougie." And then we look over, he's sitting front row. He's on like the little Thornton's came down, and he's holding a little towel like.
Wait, hold on. I was up on the screen.
Yes, it was on.
No, you were on the Tron, bro. Don't do that. You know you were on the Tron.
No, because he comes by a lot, but I don't ever know if it's on or not.
It was on. I texted you and said, "Okay, I see you over there."
Oh no, see, I didn't even get that text. Then
we saw you.
Oh, crap.
With the towel draped out, we saw you. Yeah, like you know,
big time.
Yeah, we saw you.
Gosh, dang it, Chad said. All right, let me get caught up on the chat line. John says, "Don't be jealous of our bromance." I'm not. I actually like my wife. Walter Hell says, "I can share my wife's Ticketmaster if anyone would like to have it." I don't know. Fabian, what's up, guys? Look, what's up, everybody? And last but not least, I'm not going to read this one out. I'm going to let Chad speak for himself. Christ, Wes, that was the first time you went and watched the game with me, correct?
Yes.
Tell everybody what it was like, not only being like that close to all the action, but just everything you kind of saw, everything you experienced. I mean, we sat right behind Sky Clark's dad, and Wes was trashing Sky for like the first 15 minutes. I have to tell him.
I didn't know.
I have to tell him, no, he didn't trash him.
Nah, absolutely not.
I'm messing with you. What's up, David? What's good? But Wes claims he didn't hear me introduce. I straight up introduced him to Kenny, and I said, "This is Kenny Clark. This is Sky's dad." And Wes was like, "Yo, what's up? How you doing?" And then about 20 minutes into the game, I hear, "Come on, Sky, you can't do that."
Yes, I did too.
I'm like, "Come on, Wes."
No. I heard him introduce you, Sam. I didn't hear him introduce me.
Okay, look.
I was sometimes
make me go wake my sick wife up out of bed to come in here and tell you. He was just Wes, look, this is how you look. I'm teaching classes. This is how you do it in the media game. You just say, "I was just so overwhelmed with being in your presence, Jeremy. I just must not have heard it."
Bro, I was gonna say sometimes
playoff game, bro. Your playoff game. Absolutely, Rito.
Bro, I was just gonna say sometimes I tend to be absent-minded. It happens.
Okay, fair enough. Sam, you've watched a bunch of games with me, so you know the whole time it's nothing but people coming up and saying hi and stuff. But last night, dude, I swear,
it was different.
Before the game even started, Wes, who all did we see before the game even started?
We saw Ellis Miles, Robbie Valentine. Of course, we saw Scott's dad. He was sitting right in front of us.
Al-Haji Muhammad come over and talk for about 10 minutes. It was just
right before tip-off.
It was a reunion. But how was your experience?
Yeah, it was awesome. Not to mention, even though it has nothing to do with basketball, Jeff and Brady Brown walking right past us. Turned out they were hosting a bunch of recruits at the game that we didn't catch.
Yeah, it was I think it was like a junior day or something like that.
Yeah.
Oh no, I do because my kind of nephew, Spike Souls, was over there, so I do.
Yeah, I was right. Yeah, he was definitely at the game. But yeah, man.
Rito's perfect comment here, Wes. You're media now. You got to move accordingly.
Now Rito's good.
I'm pretty sure you mentioned Brady. I'm pretty sure he cropped us. I'm pretty sure he gave us his own little Brady bomb, Brown bomb, as he walked by us. So I'm not saying it was him. There was an old couple that was sitting next to him that I don't. Wes, where'd he go? Wes, where you at?
What?
Listen,
He said he cropped.
I think that was the ultimate Brady Braun bomb. Say that 3 times real fast. Not real easy. John Lindemann says, "Remember us little people, Wes." And
I'll always remember you, John.
Quentin says, "What's up, peeps?" Fabian says, "My lips are sealed tonight. I got heat for being critical." You can be critical. We'll talk about the game in a minute, but I want to talk about the atmosphere.
Yeah, like honestly, for what our record has been and the way people give crap in the media and say crowds are a certain way, last night was a very nice crowd. Like honestly, the red outweighed the blue, even though it was a lot of Duke fans in the building.
It was.
The Louisville fans were on their feet when we were on defense. It was very loud. We were tuned into the game. It was just awesome, man. I ain't gonna lie. And I know Jeremy mentioned it in the chat, but that was when I got a little nervous, is when we got to go behind the curtain for a minute. It's when he was walking to the bed. I was like, Brett, do I go or do I stay back here?
Again, B-A-S. Bougie A. Sam. Walking back there with his women's.
Oh, yeah, he was casual.
Like he was Tiger Woods or some.
He was casual with his media badge. Big old plaque right here, just talking about they don't even check it. He's like, I just do what I do.
Come on, Wes. Don't be telling the secrets.
My face is on it, dude. So they did.
Yeah, his face is on it. It's like, nah, he's just casual. He's like, man, I just do what I do. I just glide by. They see me, they know what it is. I just go.
Listen, so yeah, I mean, overall, there went my camera. Overall, it was a great time. It was a great night. Me and Wes were talking about this on the way out. If you listen to social media, yeah, crowd was nice. You would think that there were only 5 people in there and they were all quiet or booing everybody. That was the biggest crowd I've been a part of all season. I don't know what the official number ended up being. Tanner, if you can see if maybe Real Card Game tweeted that out. I don't know if he did or not. But I would say it was close to 12,000 plus.
Yeah.
And about 2,000 of them were Duke fans. That might be a little high estimate on that, but it was. I know that's nowhere near to 24,000. No, it wasn't. And it may have even been more than that. It felt. Let's put it this way: it sounded like and felt like there were 20,000 people there.
Definitely did.
But there wasn't. But it was like you said. Good time before. No, it's not going to pay how did I know that the only female football player in Louisville football history and my old teammate Kathy Klope would be on the chat playing the
devil's advocate?
That's not going to pay the bills. No, it's not going to pay the bills. And again, we'll talk about that some other time. I want to just focus on the atmosphere in the experience, and then we'll talk a little bit about what we saw that we didn't like and what we did like after that. But was there anything else that stood out to you, Wes, about the night as a whole? And then we'll go to the chat line because we've had a couple people comment.
Not too much that I can say, but honestly, just like we talked about in general, just the fact that the vibe was there, that there was hope in that building. Despite what everybody else is talking about, the crowd was locked in the entire game until it was almost over. It wasn't a dead house. It wasn't quiet. You couldn't hear a pin drop in that place once we were really rolling.
Well, apparently, because you didn't even hear me introduce you to Sky's dad. So apparently it was kind of loud.
He's never going to let me live that down.
Nope.
Let's go to Bays real quick. And when I say Bays, I mean B-A-S, Bougie Sam. Front row Sam, what about you? How did you enjoy the night last night?
I enjoyed it, man. It kind of reminded me of what we could be again. And that we're not exactly far off. Is I mean, I know we'll talk about it later, but I think the administration needs to do something to help get more seats in the stands. I don't know, come up with some different promotions or whatever to get more people in there. But the atmosphere was great. The crowd was loud, and once again, like I don't care what anyone says. I think Louisville has probably one of the most knowledgeable fan bases in college basketball. And it probably has a lot to do with Danny Crum and Rick Pitino, but you can tell that they got into it right at the right time. They give that extra boost, like even though Zampane gave the boost, Card Nation gave their own boost as well. So
And let's talk about that just for a second. Two things. First off, was first time all season I've heard defense chants like the old days. Chants of any kind from the fans that were able to be spoken on live TV. And second, the audible gasp in the arena when Zan Payne checked in for the first time.
yes,
I'm giving that kid his flowers. He came in and gave us a spark, a boost. I'd rather not. I still prefer not to see him in games, but
close games.
no, in general.
Oh,
That's what happens. That's what happens when you've got 6 guys that aren't on your roster that you thought were going to be on your roster or playing. Emmanuel Okorafor, Trenton Flowers, Karan Davis, JJ, Dennis. Who else am I forgetting? There's one more. I counted them earlier. It was 6. Anyway, it was 3 starters. So that would have been Trenton, JJ, Dennis.
Yeah.
You got
Emmanuel
Manny, Karan.
Cron. I mean, were you
Who?
calling Hersey?
Why's Hersey not play? He played really well when he got in. Why is he not playing?
I don't know. He didn't see the floor at all last night.
No, and he did really well in the games that he got to play. And he actually plays defense, unlike the guy that took over for him at the 2. Shout out to Trey White. Listen, I'm not going to sit here and act like. And Tanner shot me the message. Announced attendance on ESPN was 12,600 and some change. That sounds about right on the nose. That, like I said, I thought there was about 12 to 15,000 there. And they were having scanning issues too. So I don't know if that was taken into consideration or not. I don't know if that was scanned tickets, paid seats. I don't know what it was, but still, it was a good show out. It was Duke. That's a brand name, so of course that's going to put butts in seats. We got Virginia at noon Saturday on the Wacky CW network. That could be a good time. Let's talk. Let's do this first. Everybody's talked about the atmosphere, the stuff. Sam, would you like to share anything else from us about your front row experience from last night?
No. I'll say this. I'll say as much stuff as we give officials from watching, I still give them crap even though they're right in front of me because sometimes it's just ridiculous. But you being down there, you can kind of see why they miss certain calls because it's just so much stuff going on.
Well, and they're horrible.
Yeah, that too. That too, because it's just the human element of it. I just wish we had better humans doing it.
Well,
So, yeah.
well, especially when Duke gets all the home. Why have we never got home cooking calls at our home? Why does the other team always benefit? I don't understand that. And we're going to talk about what we saw that we didn't like here in a second. Interesting fact from Tanner, aka the new. I can't call him the producer, but remember the show? What was that show that they had on ESPN? Was it Pardon the one that had Stat Boy?
It wasn't Pardon the Interruption.
Something. Anyway, Tanner's our Stat Boy.
Around the Horn?
Around the Horn.
Yeah, Around the Horn.
With Tony Reale, he had Stat Boy. Tanner's our Stat Boy, and I love it because, unlike Higgy, I actually have stuff to read in the chat that is helpful and not his. One time he put his menu in there His grocery list in there. And another time, he accidentally put his DoorDash order in the private chat, and I'm like, I can't bring anything down to Nashville, brother. Hey, we miss you tonight. It has been a joy to see you kind of flourish in the last 6 months on the site. And the last podcast we had, you went the whole time without making any verbal mistakes, and he was on the Spaces the other night, kind of spitting fire. I don't know if he was reading from a teleprompter, if Megan was telling him what to say, but he did a really good job, and I appreciate it. And we'll catch you the next time. Let's go to the chat line real quick. John Lindemann says, "I can say I used to give West football tickets."
I was just reading that.
Yeah, look at him. Chad Brocky says the crowd was actually nice. Jeff Leff said Tiger laughing at Tiger Woods. Ransdale family, what's good? Yo, happy Wednesday. No, Sean cannot call it hump day. No, he can't call it hump day because it don't have nothing to do with actual. Anyway, that was a beatable Duke team. Fabian, this is why I love having a show to where here was the one most frustrating things about our show in the early days. It was no live interaction. It was pre-recorded. We sent it out. We got met, but it just was a mess because then the next show we talk about all the good questions we had, but that was already old news. When we had the CSD podcast at the very beginning, shout out to Justin Rink, Steve Rummage, and Daryl Faust. We all ran that podcast before we got slingshotted to 93.9. Talk Radio. If y'all are podcasters out there that are interested on getting in on the ground floor, please sign up for Blog Talk Radio. They give you a phone number. The interface is real easy to use. It's smooth and clear. Shout out to them. I didn't think I'd be shouting them out in 2024, but here we are. Love the live interaction. Why was that a beatable Duke team? Well, two things. First off, Nolan game planned for the Duke team. He knows Duke inside and out. Had we had a deeper bench, a deeper roster, that's not just a beatable Duke team. That is a beaten Duke team. And then I saw people last night, secondly, oh man, Duke was horrible last night. They had probably their worst game of the year. Well, Sam, why did they have their worst game of the year last night?
I don't even want to say that they had their worst game of the year, but I know
if somebody told you, because I know you're like me, only shorter, you're a super thinker, what would be the first thing you would tell somebody that said, I've not got to it yet. I'm sure I'm going to laugh. If I sat there and told you, oh, Duke just played bad last night, Louisville didn't play good, what would you say?
I would go back to whoever ran the scout for Louisville. Because Louisville
here's what I would say. I would say, well, we forced them to play bad.
Yeah.
Brandon boxed out Flippa Kalawatzkowitz or whatever the heck his name was. He played good against him. We'll talk about the stuff we didn't like in a second. The things I did like was the scouting, the execution for the most part was good. But again, when you look at your bench and bless their hearts, you've got Danilo and Tanner, your only two guys that are getting any clock. That's a bad situation to be in. And yes, I know that the popular thing is to crap on Kenny about that. But Kenny couldn't help that all these guys were either going to be hurt, leave, get kicked off the team, whatever the case was. He couldn't help that Tyler didn't show up till like a month before the season. At the end of the day, Sky Clark had only played 13. He's played more games at Louisville than he's played in his college career. These are still young kids. Oh, they were 5 stars. Well, how did Duke's 5 stars do last night? How did Caleb Foster do last night? Oh, he didn't do very well. How did the other freshmen do? Oh, not great. Okay. Well, that happens everywhere. It's not just It's not just here in the city of Louisville, or as some people would say, the state of Louisville.
Caleb Foster didn't score a point in 26 minutes.
Oh, he didn't? What about their other freshmen? Just let me know how their other freshmen did in a second. They're 5-star freshmen at that. It's not something that's just happening here is my point. And we forced Duke to play the way that they played. So I actually was impressed with Duke. I was more impressed by how we pushed them and had Trey White played 1 second of defense last night.
Not even that.
Old dude for Duke. Who's their guy that hit like the 4 or 5 threes?
Proctor
didn't, and it's every game. It's every game. His man hit 6 or 7 threes and it puts us under every time we make a run. I was talking to Shayna, Nolan's wife, after the game last night. She walked into the West. What did she say when she walked through the curtain? She said, "We got to the hump several times.
Mm-hmm.
Get over the hump," and that's because of the lack of depth on the bench. Listen, you're not going to sit here and get me to say I want Kenny for another year. I'm off that pain train for sure. What I will say is not everything has been his fault. He couldn't help the roster issues. Like you think he thought that Dennis Evans was going to have a medical condition that took him out of the game of basketball when he scouted him and recruited him here? You think he thought Karan Davis was going to, which, by the way, we were sitting there talking about Karan Davis, and then Ellis is like, "Hey, he's sitting right in front of y'all." Didn't even know he was like 2 rows down from us. Good thing we didn't say anything negative about him. But that Karan was just going to, whatever happened, and I don't know, nobody but Karan and whoever he's told knows, because Nolan don't know, I don't know, nobody up there, the support team, none of them know. KP would not have recruited kids who weren't going to be on the team. He didn't know JJ was going to get hurt. He didn't know Manny was going to get hurt. He didn't know that any of these things were going to happen. Now, he has had faults. We've talked about that at length. He's not heard from several former players last night. He's not listening to nobody. And that's something that we told y'all here on Live with 55 on the Cardinal Sports Zone podcast network, is that he wasn't listening to people around him. And that wasn't something that we had heard from anybody outside of the program. Last night, Wes, we heard that, and I won't say from who, we heard it multiple times.
Yeah.
Okay, great transition, Wes. All right.
I was going to say, but honestly.
I'm doing a transition. I'm trying to do a setup.
Okay. Fair enough.
So that's something we had heard multiple times last night, wasn't it, Wes?
Yeah, it definitely was, man. But honestly, last night, the good thing that I enjoyed, my bad, because you work with me here. Work with me here.
I got you. Look, that's why we're doing this. Live with 55. Listen, Live with 55 is Cardinal Sports Zone podcast is our main show. Everything there is very serious, very well. We make joke. We joke Sean and Higgy out all the time, but it's very professional setting. This right here will be laid back. Would prefer there not be any profanity, but if as long as Sam don't get his second strike, we'll be good. No MFs, no GDs. Anything else, I think, is okay for this podcast. But it's a teaching. Like the thing I said when I put the guest host group together is I want to provide you all a outlet to get some practice and to have some fun. So I'm not holding it against you. I'm teaching as I go. Beautiful Cardinal helmet in the background, along with the multiple championships that I've won / bought from WWE Shop. But yeah, so it was a great night. Let's go ahead and go to the chat line. Chad says they were very beatable. He wasn't impressed. Well, I was. Albert Cross, our guy Albert. Albert's the one he created. Listen, I've been telling him about us. Let's go over here about us needing. My niece was supposed to be the one that was creating graphics and stuff for us, but apparently high school is just too icky for her. But he created this graphic for us, and I'll show it to y'all real quick, and we'll talk about it. I like it. I asked him to make some more for us, so we're going to get that. But Albert hates that he missed the game. Mark says Zen played well. Fabian wants to know, did we see Mercy Miller's big NIL deal? Yeah, we did. Our friend of the show, W. Weller. God dang it. Is that what you were laughing at, Steve?
Yeah.
Yeah. W.L. Weller says the BHH charge was terrible. I agree. It was PTI, stat boy, Mike and Tony. Okay. Steve Rummage says, in fact, Mick is the pick and says, sorry, wrong account. He's just joking. I promise y'all. He's not that obnoxious. Good young nucleus. Filipowski had 17 points on 37% field goals, 16% from 3. I feel like he scored a lot of, and I could be wrong, but I feel like he scored a lot of points off free throws in the last 10 minutes of the game.
He did.
That's the way it felt watching it live. Brandon says it does seem like Louisville gets 4 or 5 stars who never come in and impact instantly. I cannot remember having a freshman come in and be NBA ready ever. Maybe Purvis Ellison was the last one, and that was gosh, I was still in diapers then. Terry started right away, didn't he? He did, but he didn't play at a high. Terry Rozier came in with Anton Gill, correct? They had both played the prior year together in prep school. And I don't remember Terry Rozier. I remember him coming in and starting and then making a big deal out of it. And I think Gorgie did too. But I don't remember either one of them dominating their first years here in NBA as far as being NBA ready. Which is what Brandon says. Every Louisville team I can remember has needed at least 2 seasons. Mm-hmm. Yeah, you could have said one and done. Wes, what were you about to say? Says Jeff. And then I'll get to that. We'll throw that up on the screen. And then we're caught up. Fabian says Duke got away with countless moving screens. The goaltending call, horrible.
Well, they got one and missed another. Missed one that was blatantly above the rim goaltending, like directly above the cup.
Stevie Wonder was at the game last night, was trying to figure out why they didn't. He saw the goaltending charge.
It was blatantly obvious.
Absolutely. And shout out, we saw a fan of the show and of the site. Cashmere Mitchell was in the building last night. Got to see him. Got to see my boy E from we used to play rec league ball together. He was my point guard, and I was the Filipowski back then. I remember, I don't know why we're going into this, just because I mentioned Eric, but I remember my best game in rec league. It was 2012, and I scored 41 points and hit 15 threes that game. I was and I never was a big 3-point shooter. They always just got the ball to me. I'm 6'7", 350. Like, just give me the ball. I'll put it in. Sean, we'll talk to you about that later. I know you don't understand putting it in or nothing like that. Yeah, the refs knew the point spread last night for sure. They were trying to give it to. Thankfully for Duke. Well, not thankfully for Duke, but thankfully for the point spread purposes. Duke started missing free throws at the end of the game. You couldn't get them to miss one in the first half. Couldn't get them to miss one hardly in the second half. But then they started clanging them in the second. Jeff Left says we have had super sophomores, but not one and dones.
Nope.
I thought Sam Williamson was going to be a one and done.
Yeah.
He did not materialize. I can tell you all this. As far as the Rick Pitino guys, I saw him turn 1 stars into 5 stars and 5 stars into a bowl of Jell-O. I'm not going to say any names because most of them are friends, but he would break them down. There was one guy that he completely broke his shot completely down to scratch and told him he had to learn how to shoot again. And he would not, if he saw any resemblance of his old form, he'd make him run. And he was trying to get him out of bad habits and stuff. Shaquan Aaron's one that I can remember that he just could not. And I wasn't friends with Shaquan. Not that he was a bad, but I just didn't know him. He was one. Jared Swapshire would be at the gym. We would get out of. For those of y'all that know or don't know, I was with the basketball team kind of as a babysitter for a little while from 05 to 09, and we go through practice and stuff, and after practice, like Swap would stay. This wasn't while I was the next. Like, we would go up. Sam, did you ever go shoot ball at the young practice facility with us?
No.
No. Okay, that must have just been Steve and Farley and my brother. But anyway, we go up there. It wouldn't matter what time of night we went up there and got in. Swap would either be in the gym shooting or he'd be sleeping in his car outside of the gym. That's how dedicated he was. But that's what he would do. I am a big old dude, James. Thanks to my mom and dad. Shout out to y'all, dad up there and mom at home, for making me a big old dude. But yeah, my brother's 6'8.5" and 300. So they grow like I'm honestly, Sam, you can attest to this. When you first started coming around the family and stuff, I was the shortest guy I hung out with.
Yeah, because
Like
it
my brother,
was Farley.
6'8.5", Farley 6'10.5". My
Yeah.
cousin Jonathan 6'10". Steve's a fairly new addition. I mean, he's been around for 18 years now, so he's not new. But he made like I only started hanging out with Steve so I could feel tall. And then you and Sean come around, and I feel like a man amongst shorter men. So it is what it is. Let's
Hold on, Wes was there before me.
Wes.
Not the
Brown.
yeah.
Wes was what?
He was there before me, so he made you feel taller before me.
When last night? I'm not talking about last night. I'm talking about in life.
He's talking about Brown.
Wes.
Wes Brown. Oh yeah. I forgot about Wes. Like he stopped messing with us, so I forget about him on purpose. Shout out to Wes. You know, Wes is driving a truck cross country now for a living.
I know he told me about getting his CDLs and stuff like that. So I was
Yeah,
like,
proud of him. He should be over here Saturday for the Royal Rumble, so maybe we'll get to hang out with him then. Derek Character, said Brent. Yeah, I was in charge of Derek Character, and I did not do a very good job because he would sneak out when I wasn't looking or when I went home to sleep. So where's Sean and Hickster? Well, Higgy is at church, he said, so that probably means he's at a Whataburger.
Yeah, about that allegedly.
And Sean is at home, probably in his bathroom with the lights off, shaming himself. I don't know. He's not a part of this show. This is for the people that don't get to talk a whole lot on Cardinal Sports Zone podcast and for new up and comers. And I wanted Sam to join us tonight because he was normally he's not on this show either, but I wanted him to share some of his experiences from being front row Sam at the basketball game last night. So that's why. But we will get the Cardinal Sports Zone podcast has only been off the air for a few weeks now because we are waiting for our guests for episode 200. They are still in the NFL playoffs. It's been very easy for us to go ahead and do filler shows in between and then have them be 205. I didn't want them to be 205. I wanted them to be 200. It's a special. The episode 100, it was me, Steve, and Justin again, like back in the old days. I want every 100th to be a special guest. So that's why we've done 40 episodes of Live with 55 in the last 3 weeks because we've been waiting on number 200. But we appreciate all y'all's love and support. We've got a bunch of premium subscribers on YouTube. We appreciate y'all. Anything else, Sam, you want to say about my next question. So we talked about all the things we did like. What didn't you like other than our defense being horrible? Like, we really need to get Sean's love life to be a defender on the court because nobody can get past that apparently.
Yeah.
But what didn't, other than the poor defensive showing, what didn't you like that you saw last night?
I felt what I did not like was I didn't think it didn't appear that Kenny Payne had his players back. And let me explain why I said this. There was a point in time when I think we got the lead to about 6 or 5, and then it went back up and we got it right back down to 5. They started to go to the 1-5 a lot more, and even before that, they started to feature Filipowski, whatever the heck his name is. Brandon did a great job initially on the first defense, on the first wave of defense. Brandon did a great job making it tough, making it hard, and forced a few misses. But we didn't have that second big man in there to get the rebound. There are a lot of times you saw Sky crash. You saw Mike James. Even sometimes you saw Trey crash. But they had Mitchell, and sometimes they would use the other guy that were just taller, more athletic, stronger, bigger. They were able to outmuscle them for the rebound. In that situation, I know the offense is working and you're getting what you want on offense, but it doesn't matter if you're just trading baskets. I felt like he should have went to, hey, maybe put Caleb in there a little bit more, or even go to Emmanuel, because you needed another body in there, another big body in there to help you grab the rebound once this shot misses. Now, you would have sacrificed a whole lot on offense, but then at the end of the day, you're the coach. You can design or you could call an offensive set or offensive play for the kids that were on the floor
Yep.
to hide whatever deficiencies a player or players have on the floor on offense, but you had to help them more defensively. Another part of it too was he went to the press once late in the game. They got a wide open three out of it, and then he went away from it. But what happened was they had multiple shooters on the floor. So the minute they went to the press, they were able to get a wide open three. The 2 possessions later, John Shire took out one of the shooters and brought it and replaced him with a big. You should have went back to the press because now that's one less shooter that you have to worry about. So it was just like he went to the press to see if it worked. It didn't work because of the personnel Duke had on the floor, and he went away with it when he should have came right back to it once they changed the personnel. So that's why, listen, like you said, Nolan had the scout. It was a great scout. It was great. It was just that once John Shire started to make adjustments, you could see where he's different from Kenny Payne because Kenny Payne didn't really have the necessary answers to those adjustments, or he couldn't make his own to combat what John Shire was doing. So that's the only thing, like I said, I did not like, other than I felt like we were playing 5-on-5, man versus man on defense, because it was whatever.
Really quick before we get back to the chat line, Brandon and James think they know who the guest is. They think it's Lamar. I'm not going to confirm or deny that. D-Wall Beat says KP seems stubborn. I don't mean this as an insult. He is very stubborn and hard-headed. Jeff says his substitutions stink. I don't know if y'all can see behind me on the wall, but we started doing the show about 45 minutes ago. And Bring Brom Polk decided he was going to comment on the show that Mick is the pick. Mick is not the pick. Not only is he not the pick, and you can listen. Here's what I'll say. I know who BBH is. He accidentally DM'd me from his regular account one night. And he doesn't know that. He's finding it out now live on the show. I would never tell anybody your identity on the air anyway. But I had to mute BBH because every single second of the day he was Mick as the picking somebody. And now he has started to Mick as the pick. 5 times he's Mick the picked us while we were talking. We're not even going to talk about potential coaching changes because we know what's going to happen. I really feel like after talking to people last night after the game and conversations I've had today, and it doesn't make any sense. I'll say this. It makes no sense to me. But from what I've gathered, KP has got about 3 or 4 games left. If he doesn't finish in a good position in those 4 games, he will be let go. I don't know why you'd let him go in February with just a month left. Maybe it gives you a head start on other candidates.
Yeah.
But the thing is those candidates you want are going to be coaching other teams. They're not going to leave those teams in the middle. We wouldn't want anybody. Only at Louisville have we had 2 guys. If this happens, if this happens, it'll be the second time in 5 years that we've lost 2 coaches in the middle of the season.
Yeah.
Like, that's nuts. Only at Louisville can you lose a coach. And I know that DePaul coached yesterday, but like, why is that a pattern here now?
Could I interest you in saying this?
Sure, maybe. Can I get a front row seat?
If you do let him go towards the ending part of the season, with still games left remaining on the schedule, you would have to promote someone within, which most notably people would want it to be, and the players might want it to be Nolan. This might be a free trial basis for Nolan while they still kick the tires around with some of the other coaches who are still coaching. And then maybe if Nolan, the kids are reacting, the game plan is great, they might not be getting wins, but the production on the floor is a lot better and more consistent. Maybe they could be like, hold up, wait a second. we might have something here. And at the end of the season, come to him like, hey, look, I know it was kind of rough situation. I know we were talking to this guy and that guy, but we kind of like what you did towards the end of the season. What do you think about being the head coach? Could that be do you think that could be a possibility as well? It could be a cheap upgrade.
Absolutely. And here's the thing: I'm not giving BBH any more time. Let's go ahead and throw the logo back. You know what? Let's go ahead and throw Cherry Picking back up there because that's our family. New sponsor of the Cardinal Sports Zone show. Yeah, and had they made the move when it was allegedly, and I'm using this because it was absolutely a thing, but I don't want to get anybody in trouble. So when the rumor that he was going to get axed right after the Kentucky game, which unfortunately would have been like Christmas Eve or Christmas Day, they should have went ahead and made that move. I still don't know, even with these guys playing at a better effort level, with their depth being an issue, if they're still playing any better. But gosh, everything I hear from people up there, and again, when I say that, I'm not talking about Nolan, because Nolan doesn't tell me a whole bunch of stuff that goes on up there because he wants to protect himself, wants to protect KP. I have plenty of contacts up there in the support group, and I talked to some of the players and their parents. So I hear things, and had they just made that move, like, why not? I guess here's why I'm frustrated, Wes. I'm frustrated that you didn't make the move then, but you may make the move in February. Why prolong that? What's it going to? What benefit? In chat line, please chime in. What's the benefit in your all's eyes to making a change with just 10 games left in the season or 12 games left in the season?
Does his bio drop at a certain date?
No, it doesn't drop till April.
Sorry, Wes. The way it's written, it says April 1st, but if you check the verbiage, it says at the end of the season. So if the end of the season is the last game of the season, if that's how it's declared, then at the end of the season would be in March, a couple weeks into March, and you don't. But what's completely baffling to me is that you wouldn't wait the extra 4 weeks to save your $2 million.
Yeah.
Well, like I said, it could be a situation to where they get a free trial. They don't have to pay someone else to come in here to coach. They have someone on the staff already that can coach. And if it's successful, I could see them promoting him. But if it's not, then they're still because you got to look at the optics of it too, is what I'm thinking. I don't think it would be right to actively search and look for coaches and interview and go through the backdoor channels or whatever while you still currently have a head coach. I think with them, if they do let him go, it kind of frees them up. Okay, now we don't have a coach. We can go ahead and talk to this person, ask around, kick the tires and things like that, while they have Nolan, if it is Nolan, coach. And if things go well, like I said, if they go well, they'd be like, you know what? Maybe we should keep him. And if things are still more of the same, then they already got a head start in looking at different coaches.
But I get where Jay is coming from, because if they did it after the Kentucky game, it would be a bigger sample size. The one they're giving, if it happens the way he's saying it could happen now, it's very condensed and it's not enough.
But if you had done it after the Kentucky game, you would have a lot of people, and me included, that would say, hey man, this is year 2 and it's halfway through the year and you let him go. Is it really that bad to let him go halfway through year 2?
True. I mean, you can look at it from both sides of the spectrum. Neither side is gonna look perfect either way it goes.
Right. Yes.
Jeff Left agrees with Sam. Chris Steer thinks he thinks it's to appease the fan base. I don't disagree with that.
That's gonna be a 2 year.
Fabian says, to me, if KP is let go mid-February, then Josh Hurt has an idea who the next guy is.
Good
I
point.
don't agree with that. Would Nolan do it? Yes, he would. Jeff Left says Nolan got a coach if you fire KP now. I agree with that, and I think he would. Look. Nolan's gotten a bad shake here at Louisville because he thought he was coming to Louisville to help return our program to prominence, and he has been how do I say this without getting him or myself in any trouble? He's been able to be 50% Nolan Smith. He's not been able to go 100% Nolan. And 100% Nolan is the top assistant in any college in the country in these days.
He's being suppressed.
You all know people I've told you that he had committed to Nolan, but KP wouldn't take him. Had we had that talent here, it's a different story right now.
Possibly, yeah.
Shots as a D-Wall. Yeah, absolutely. I would too. But I think Nolan would be the choice. I would hope Nolan would be the choice. And I would hope that he did well enough that the next coach wanted to keep him on staff. I think we've gotten to a point now that if KP is kept for a third year, I don't think Nolan sticks around. I think
Really?
he's 50% Nolan. Would you blame him? He spent 2 years of his career at a place that could be him.
I can understand that completely. If you're being suppressed and held back and basically chained up, I understand that.
Yeah.
If you're not allowed, if you got hired to do a job and then told after you get hired to do the job that you can't do the job that you
Now,
got.
I mean, if you can't answer this, then just say you can't answer it. With him being held to 50% to what he could do, half of what it is it because he's being asked to do more and different stuff? If you can't answer it, that's fine.
I can't tell you why. I could tell you it's not that.
Okay.
Crisco Cat. I don't think it's a different story with better talent. I think it's a different story if KP would just stop being hard-headed. And if he would have hired an old head to put on the bench to help him out with his growing pains as a head coach. Kenny's not a bad guy, and he's not a bad person to have on your staff. He just needed, just like any first-time head coach, he needed a better support system. And you've got Danny Manning, which came out of the blue. Don't even know how that happened. And you've got hologram Josh Jameson. We can only assume he's a hologram because we don't ever see him move, even though he had the freshest shoes of the coaching staff last night with his
Adidas,
black Nike crayon version 1s or whatever they were called.
They're Adidas.
That's what I meant. Adidas, whatever. At this point, I wish Adidas would go crawl under a bridge somewhere. But so I don't necessarily disagree with you. I think we've got great talent. Do people forget? And we talked about this a little bit. The last show, I think it was Sunday morning. It was like, oh, Kenny's a horrible recruiter. We had the 5th-ranked class. Trenton Flowers was a 5-star. Sky Clark was a 5-star. Dennis Evans was a 5-star. Curtis Williams was a 4-star. He was top 100, 4-star, fringe 5. And
number 1 player in the state of Michigan.
Yeah, and Karan was the number 1 JUCO player in the country. And I'm sure I've forgotten to mention somebody.
Tyler was a 4-star.
Tyler was a 4, and Caleb was a fringe 5. I think Caleb was a 5 and 1, and a 4 and a couple other. That's a heck of a recruiting class for any year at U of L.
Yeah. So let me ask you this as a friend of Nolan's, right?
Okay.
Let's say KP gets a 3rd year, and Nolan stays on board. Would you think he would be open to the possibility of moving down to the second assistant instead of the first one, if there's an older, experienced coach that takes the assistant job, and Nolan moves down to the 2nd chair to where he can focus more on recruiting? Would he be willing to do that?
I would. If let me say it this way: if I were Nolan,
do you think? Yeah.
If I were Nolan Smith, I would demand there be a complete overhaul of the coaching staff.
100%.
Keep Reese. Throw somebody like, oh gosh, what's the guy's? Rick Stansberry from Western Kentucky. He's a proven X's and O's guy. He can get in his recruiting bag as well.
Yes.
You throw Nolan there at assistant head coach. He takes Danny's spot. Then you bring in Yasir Redmond from IU, and bring in one of the either the Rutgers guy or the DePaul guy who's been really good at recruiting. I forgot the DePaul guy's name, and I had the Rutgers guy's name. Forgot it. and then you let Reese stay on. You bring in a Peyton Siva or a Ellis Mile, a former card that's a fan favorite. You make that the 5th bench coach, and then you just run it as far as you can run it. The problem is, at this point, you would have to also be like, KP, I'll come back, but you have to listen to me.
Yeah, you put something
Yeah.
put something in a stipulation or a clause to where I've listened to him talk to the media multiple times. I went with you before, and then you sent me a couple of times to go and cover him. The way that he answers the media is he answers them like he's never been in front of the media before. And as a head coach, you got to know how to work certain things, especially the media. And it's just like he doesn't even care. So you got to meet with the staff, meet with an advisor to say, hey, this is the type of question you might get. How would you answer that? I'll do it. No. Just don't say that. Say something different. Turn it around. Like coach him a little bit on how to answer the media, because the way how he answers the media now,
Out every single time. And so, I didn't think he did that bad last night, but every other time. And I don't think he says them he's just a simple guy. And I think sometimes he just says what's on his mind and doesn't think about how it could come across to the basketball savvy. Fabian says Milt needs to go. Mark says I hope we keep Curtis Williams and Glenn. Those guys are going to be solid. I agree with that.
Yeah.
Our guy W from Twitter, is Nolan going to want to stay with the new coaching staff? I think it depends on who it is. I really do. Chad Brocky, again, on the line. Superstar Chad Brocky. I actually love our young guys. Hope we can keep them.
I do too.
Albert says Nolan would do it. KP was not going to be the long-term guy anyway, was he? I thought it would be 4 years. And by the way, I was wrong. Okay, that happens in life sometimes. I thought KP was going to come in here, grab and to be fair, every time I was out in public at the EYBL around the Louisville greats, those guys were telling me, oh yeah, we're getting DJ, we're getting Bradshaw, we're getting McKenzie. I thought it was going to be just that easy. I didn't know World Wide West was going to try to screw Kenny behind the scenes. I didn't know the Nike guys were going to try to screw him behind the scenes.
Didn't know Adidas was going to pay more for a kid to go to IU than Louisville.
None of that. That's just all unbelievable. When people say, "Oh, we should be able to bounce back quicker. We're Louisville." That was my dog's voice, in case you didn't get it. But shout out to the young goat there. But yeah, it's 10 years. I shared a picture in our group chat earlier that I found when I was trying to find a cover photo for my 10,000 post story, and I came across that picture of the press conference I covered when Louisville announced they were self-imposing the ban. Do you remember seeing that picture in the group chat, Wes and Tanner?
Yep.
Sam, you weren't there because you're not cool enough and you're bougie. But that pretty much sums up the last 10 years of Louisville basketball. That look, that feeling, it just was horrible. And I remember me and Steve had Damian Lee in. Me, Steve, and I think it was either Marcus or Perrin, but we had Damian Lee in the day on the Cardinal Sports Zone on 93.9 The Ville Saturdays. It used to be on. We had Damian Lee in that next day, and he was frustrated, and he poured his heart out. And I wish they still had the old tapes of that show. We did a couple of shows that were fantastic. Highest listened to show of all time on 93.9 was our show the day after Muhammad Ali passed away. And Damian called in on the show. Ramsey and Rutherford came in on the show. It was a big show. Muhammad Ali meant a lot to me growing up. I was blessed enough to kind of know him. And, yeah, it was great. But anyway, back to the point. That picture encapsulated the feeling of the last 10 years for me for Louisville basketball. So to answer your question, Albert, because y'all know I take a long path to a short answer. I thought he was going to be here for 10 years. I thought he was going to be an immediate, a pro basketball assistant coach that has succeeded everywhere he had been. Nobody could. You can sit there and send me your tweet where you said, oh, I told you he's going to be a failure. And trust me, they do every day, and that's fine. I just mute them or block them or whatever. But anybody that knows basketball would have thought he would have come into this situation and just on the ground running, just blazing. But no, I did think he was going to be a long-term guy. I thought he was going to have a couple years to learn and be like. Initially, I was told after the hire he was going to have 3 years to prove himself no matter what. Now, I didn't think no matter what was going to be 10 total victories, but that's what I was told at the very beginning, and it's still a possibility that happens. James Garland says, desperate times for men's basketball. Seriously, U of L should have gotten George and Pitino back when they were cleared. This is my opinion. James, I respect that opinion, but the problem is we're not in this mess if it wasn't for Rick Pitino. Rick was that. I don't know any of the players that made him go sleep with Karen Cypher. I don't know any of the players that told him, hey, let's grab a 5-star 4 weeks before I mean, he even said on the Ramsey and Rutherford show, okay.
He came out of nowhere.
Was like, yeah, this was just out of the blue. Like, to me, I'm not touching a guy like that. That's just very, very obvious. But it wasn't to us. We were happy we were getting a 5-star. And he absolutely,
That's when you think you're untouchable.
Right. Absolutely. And then the stripper stuff, man. So all that stuff happened. And trust me, that shocked me the most because I remember one time me, Farley, Sosa, and Jerry Smith were in a room, and Jerry broke a chair, roughhousing with Sos, and their phone rang. 30 seconds later, it was Vince Taylor. That chair's coming out of y'all's per diem. And we're like, what the freak? First off, how did they know a chair was broke? Second off, how did they know it was a chair that was broken? And third off, like, are we being spied upon? So we were very, very, what's the word? When you think that something could happen, it's skipping my
Are you talking cautious?
Well, cautious, but paranoid. We were very paranoid going forward that we were being watched. So even from that point forward, whenever they had girls come over, they didn't have them go to that room. They went to a different room. Shout out to my guys, though, by the way. It was just Sosa's birthday last week. Happy birthday to 10 there. Let's see. Crisco Cat, obviously, from the first comment. They would take Chris Beard, by the way. We'd have a match morality clause to make sure we don't have to pay if he screwed up. My thing is this. I've said this multiple times, too. This will be the last time I'm going to bring it up. Either he was the problem in that relationship or she was.
We don't
need to take any chances on and Cody, I think it's just gone too far for him to come back. Yeah, maybe. I don't disagree with you. Yes, paranoid. Thank you. Chad Brocky blames Sebastian Telfair. But for me, Crisco, I would not. Mick is not the pick for me because I just don't. I had to say I'm a little biased. I knew him personally. He was a jack-in to me. Don't like him at all. Don't think he's done anything. What did he do at Cincinnati? What has he done at UCLA? Not a whole lot. Don't think he's a great pick there. And Beard, John's quote. I'm sure I'll see it here in a second. For Beard, it would be. I don't think we could take it this one time at band camp. Shut up. What's up, Wes? Wes Brocky in the building too. John needs to hire Sean. He'll keep all the women out of the dorms. I don't.
That's definitely a good one.
Disagree. Look, we've not talked about this. We've been on here for an hour. We appreciate y'all. We've not talked about this yet, so let's go ahead and go to it real quick, and then we'll hop off here. I know Sam's got a hot date with somebody, probably. The Louisville basketball schedule. The Louisville football schedule. Don't you ever correct me again, or you're fired. Louisville football schedule. Let me see if I can turn it this way and it makes it bigger on the screen. Probably not. I don't know if y'all can see that behind me or not. But anyway, we start the season off at home against Austin Peay on August 31st. We have, and I want y'all to tell me what y'all's thoughts on the schedule while I'm reading this off. September the 7th, home game versus Jacksonville State. Then we have a bye week to prepare for Georgia Tech at home. So far, a bunch of home games. Then we travel the next week to South Bend to play Notre Dame. Following week, we host to top 25. Wes is gone again. That happens every show. Did he just say, am I?
Not like I didn't.
Your video's gone. You must have hit the video button on.
No, I didn't hit anything. Like my camera literally.
Sean that hasn't hit anything. Top 25 team to end the year, Southern Methodist on October the 5th. He's gone. He's going to come back. No, still blank. October the 12th, we're away at Virginia. The next week, we host Miami. The following week, we are away at Boston College. Then we travel to Clemson. Interesting thing about the Boston College Clemson 2-game parlay is that Wes is back. Come on, Wes. Come on over. There you are.
I don't know how that happened. Like I was just sitting here, my video just flashed out.
He just thought you went to the bathroom again. Interesting note about the BC Clemson tandem is that the BC game's on a Friday, which will give us an extra day to prepare for Clemson. Then we have our second bye week between Clemson and our away game in Stanford, California on the 16th of November. Then we host Pittsburgh. Get them back. They've been a thorn in our side for a few years.
I can't wait for that one.
End up at the University of Smurf Turds. Wes, what was your we'll do it this way. What was your initial thoughts on the schedule release, even though it was accidentally released like 6 hours early?
Shit. It's not going to be as easy as last year, of course, but it is very favorable. I like that we start out with Austin Peay and Jacksonville State with the new players we have coming in, because outside of practices, we have 2 tune-up games before we really get into serious competition. And I also like the fact that we got the 2 bye weeks. That's good to have.
Yeah, it's been a part of college football for about 15 years now, so I'm glad you're finally excited to have that second bye week. Sam, what about you?
We had 1 bye week last year.
No, we had 2.
Did we?
My initial thoughts was I love the schedule. I don't like playing Pitt right before the Smurfs. And the reason why I say that is because I feel like most of the players, the players that were here last year are going to be so juiced up because of what happened last year that they kind of overexert themselves and they kind of come down a little bit after the game. Yeah. And the coaching staff have to put in extra work to motivate them again for the rivalry game, especially on the road. But a lot of these players, like the Tennessee players, so it might not even be like that because you have the Tennessee players who already know what that rivalry is about. Yeah. You have the players that are already here who know what it's about. So it might not even be that big of a deal because there are a lot of players that are going to get up for this game naturally. I'm just concerned about the newcomers who coach is going to have to bring them up to speed real quick about that game.
So the reason why I just looked this up, so I owe you an apology, and I'm not above giving apologies. We had 1 solid bye week, but then we had 2 times where we had 10 days in between games, and by ACC rules, if you have that takes care of one of the bye weeks, if you have 2 10-day stretches, so that it is a rule. But John Lindemann says revenge tour. Crisco says 7 alternating weeks in a row is really tough though. Which one of those buys were adjusted a little bit? I don't disagree with that. D. Wall says, I hate our biggest opponents getting bye weeks before us. I didn't notice that. That's good to hear. Well, not good to hear, but that's an interesting thought to hear. Chad says, Mick had 1 run with UCLA, and now people are running with that. Hope Mick ain't the pick. I'm with you. Crisco Cat says he helped coach with Pitino. So did other people. If anything, he's a Huggins coach, not a Pitino coach. I disagree with you on that one. He was here. I saw him. I knew him. I hated him. I still do. I feel we have enough returning players. Getting up for those games will be difficult. Yeah. Well, it's not. By the way, if y'all haven't checked it out yet, there's a parody account of Sean on Twitter now. It's at Bricked Up Sean B. And whoever it is hilarious. They've been putting out Sean facts for the last, week? They're all fantastic. And if you're watching, that can be one for you. Getting up for games won't be difficult. Just ask Sean. you can have that one for free. But Tanner, you've not got to talk tonight, and that was by design.
Oh yeah, no worries.
What did you think about the football schedule?
I like the two. I say they're gimme games, but you never know. But I like the two give me games to start off because I think not only is it good, I'm looking at those two games to see like who the backup quarterbacks are going to be.
Good point.
That's what I want to know in those games the most because I want to see what like the quarterback room is looking like. I remember when we played Murray State last year and it was a quarterback every down and we played like 8 of them. So I'll be interested to see if the same thing happens there. Just from a pure like, I think Georgia Tech's a really fun team. Not to give them too much credit, but I think that's going to be like a really like fun first Power 5 game to go to. So I'm looking forward to that one. And then I also like Pittsburgh before Kentucky because I feel like Pittsburgh plays a similar style of physicality to Kentucky.
Yeah.
So I feel like that can, depending on if we can get out of that game healthy, I feel like that can be a good sort of like prep for UK. But
so really quick though, brings up a great point. This schedule is finalized, right? So Kentucky can't back out of it once they go to 9 games.
No.
Okay, so it's already hammered. Okay, never mind. Brian McGlasson says if we have buyout money for Cronin, do you mean we won't have money to get anybody else? I don't, because Cronin's buyout's like if we had $20 million, we would have fired KP at the end of last year. John Lindemann said swear jar. I said the K word. Crisco Cat. I know I said it, Jackie, and I admitted to it. Crisco Cat says GT will be amped up for us. It'll be a fun game. Yeah, I remember how good they were when I was growing up. So once we started playing them again, it becomes special. It was not special to get 77-10 or whatever it was by them the one year when they completely just talk about a crop dusting. Good God, they didn't crop dust us. They pooped. They shapoopied all over us. Is what they did.
Yeah.
Before we end the show, and we thank everybody for joining in with us, whether you watch it live or you watch it later, we appreciate you all. Shout out to all of our sponsors: Four Pegs Fitness Market, Collision Course Crew, Cherry Picking. We got shoot. We got shoot. I'm not saying shoot. We got Shoot 360, and we got one more in the works, and I'm hoping to brag about that one on the next show because it's a huge sponsorship. But we've also got our good friends out at Hart Realty and Mossy Oak Properties working on a commercial for them right now, so we can learn a little bit more about what they do, and so we can kind of get you all that information as well. It was a fan of the show that owns a company and was like, "Hey, would you all like to for us to sponsor your show?" And I'm like, "Well, heck yeah, let's give it a try." John Lindemann says shid with 2 D's, Shidicus. John Lindemann said Sean and Cherry. Okay, calm down, John. Are you freaking 4 years old? I know you're 4 feet tall, but are you 4 years old? Calm down. Sean wouldn't even know what that was anyway. But shout out to all of our fine sponsors. We appreciate y'all. For promo codes for those sponsors, let us know and we'll get those to you. For cherry picking, all you have to do is go in and say Cardinal Sports Zone, and Sydney Lavelle will give you a discount. I believe it's 20%. For Shoot 360, let them know you heard about us in the Cardinal Sports Zone Live with 55 show. And I don't know what the exact discount is there, but it will help with our notoriety moving into second season 2 of everything of the show. It can help us out. We got a couple people that are with us on a trial basis, so that way they can see if they like the return they're getting. So those people, we're giving them a shot. Four Pegs. We need to, what we will have for you all at the beginning of the next season, which will be season 6 of the Cardinal Sports Zone podcast and streaming show. We're going to get some promo codes for y'all because y'all been here for the longest through COVID, through everything. We're going to get y'all some promo codes for Fitness Market, for Four Pegs. Y'all are always welcome to come join us at all the football tailgates, home games. We appreciate it. Peace, Albert. Albert, get me that artwork. We'd appreciate it. Anything you can think of that'll make the show pop. We appreciate it. Appreciate your hard work for us. John Lindeman wants to know, will there be another live show at a restaurant this year? That's kind of something that just pops up out of the blue, kind of like a Brian Bowen. I don't know if that's something. Those shows are rewarding, but Higgy always leaves us with a really big tab. So, and Wes is in charge of that tab this year.
Oh, no.
I don't know. He wants that smoke.
I said I got like 2. I got him on 2.
Yeah, but what if they're both like 150? What if he goes to let's go to City Barbecue and he buys the $75 meat plate twice?
I might have to find a loophole.
We'll try. Like if there's a restaurant and if the restaurant that me and Wes negotiated with last night signs on with us, we'll do a live show at that restaurant for sure. John says he'll ditch us again. Look, we had a great time with you all tonight. Wes, do you have any parting words for Card Nation? That could be football schedule related, basketball related, or Wes related.
Yeah, I was gonna say football schedule related.
Sorry, I'm trying to hold that over by you since you work for them. This is brought to you by Dr. Pepper Zero Sugar.
Unofficially. Exact air quotes. But nah, I was gonna say on the football schedule, I know Sam made a comment about the Pitt game about making it out of there healthy.
No,
It was Tanner. It was Tanner. Okay, my bad. But thing I was gonna say about that is weather conditions and the fact that we have a turf field.
Yeah.
We're gonna run through their face. I have no doubt about it. This time around, they got lucky. But no, I really like the way the schedule shakes out. It's more away games. It's up and down. It's very balanced. The only thing I don't like about it is the fact that we go to Clemson instead of Clemson coming here.
Yeah.
Because I really wanted them to come here. But other than that, can't complain.
Listen, last year we beat Miami for the first time at Miami. Let's go ahead and knock this Clemson off of our shoulder.
It's time.
Sam, what about you, brother?
Nah.
Not bougie? No, the other stuff.
First off, shout out to Kiki Jefferson. I think she's in the top 10 list for the nation's top small forwards. I think the Cheryl Miller Award. The women play tomorrow at 7:00. Y'all ain't doing nothing. Go watch the women play.
Of course.
It's exciting. It's an exciting brand of basketball that Jeff Waltz and his team plays. And
I'm just throwing comments on the screen while Sam's talking. Go ahead, Sam.
But yeah, so go ahead and support these young ladies. It's an exciting brand of basketball. I can almost guarantee you that if you get to one of these games, you will become a fan and you will try to find the ways to go to more of them. And it's usually a pretty good crowd as well. Other than that, y'all stay safe and go Cards.
Yes, sir.
Absolutely, Brian. We do this because we love it. Like, we don't get paid for this. We do this out of the love of our hearts and the love. Like, y'all can tell by watching the show. I enjoy talking. Sam enjoys sitting in the front row of games and talking. Wes enjoys being at games and not listening to what I have to say, but talking. Listen, I'm gonna say this. I give him a lot of crap tonight, but I truly believe first off, there is one guy that if he believes in himself as much as I do, that it's going to be the next big thing here in the city of Louisville, and it's Dalton Pence. If he can just kind of calm some things down and then go for his full potential without having to worry about, things that kids these days worry about that we didn't have to worry about. The only person that can stop Dalton is himself. But as far as the podcast game is concerned, Wes is an untapped talent. A lot of the people I put in that group is an untapped talent, and I'm honored and privileged that he decided to join the group. And I see nothing but big things out of Wes in the future. And Tanner, man, like he no lie, out of any show I've ever done, and Sean was my producer and I say producer, it's not really producer, it's doing the other stuff. When I lived in Shepherdsville and we did the show there, thank God we're out of that dump. But loved it, loved the city, just not the place I was at. But I haven't had to worry about anything tonight. Any question I've had, whether I've asked it or not, Tanner's put it in the private chat, and I appreciate it. Yeah, John, untapped talent, and he does the stuff on the spaces too. That's where he caught my ear. So I appreciate you, Wes. I appreciate you, Sam, for your time. Tanner, did you have any final thoughts? And then we'll close out the chat line. I'll give my final thoughts. I'll shut the freak up, and then we'll enjoy the rest of our evening.
Hold on, real.
Yeah, I would just say if you want to go to the Notre Dame game and make that trip, I would probably jump on those tickets now, because if Brom replicates like what he did last year, those prices are only going to go up. So
Yeah.
now I think would be the time to start planning those out.
Absolutely.
Or planning.
It is always John Lindemann says untapped, and then he's trying not to make a Sean joke. Absolutely.
I was going to say pause too.
Whatever. James Garland, good night, Cardination. Jeff Leff says, great show, fellows. I don't know what we said, but Chris really agreed with it, and we appreciate it. Here's my final words. Look, I'm trying to, who was that? Was that Maury that used to do the final thoughts at the end, or was it Dr. Phil? Whoever. Just call me Dr. Phil.
You weren't thinking about Jerry Springer?
It could have been Jerry. Hold on, I got to put that logo really big in the back so everybody knows it's me talking. Listen, at the end of the day, I love and I enjoy long walks on the beach, playing basketball and hosting podcasts and stuff. No. At the end of the day, Card Nation, I want us to be great again at everything. And that's not like a Donald Trump be great again. That's an actual I want to be great again. We've had a horrible, and for those that try to just blame Kenny ain't been the captain of the ship the last 10 years. We've had other captains that have done nothing but hurt us in one way or the other from a Sam, what do they call them places where all the prostitutes are?
A brothel.
A brothel. I knew Sam would know. We've had brothel stages. We've had extortion phases. We've had pay a player phases. We had a governor overthrow our athletic board of directors and throw their friends in there
illegally.
Exactly.
To run off Patino and Jurich. It's been a host of issues, a host of people. I want to get back to the greatness. At the end of the day, I hope everybody is just kind to Kenny. He came into, he knew it was going to be a bad situation. He told us in his presser, it's going to get bad before it gets worse. Now, the problem is our fan base is impatient. They don't care for better.
Well, we didn't know. Honestly, when he said it was going to get bad before it got worse, did we imagine 10 wins in 2 years?
Well, he said it was going to get worse before it got better. He didn't say it was going to get bad before it get worse. I would have believed.
You know what I mean?
That's actually what happened. It did get bad before it got worse.
Did we imagine 10 wins in a year and a half? Though
I didn't think 10 wins in 2 years, but I also didn't know all of his friends were going to abandon him, and I didn't know that we were overpromised something that didn't come into fruition.
True.
No, but be kind to KP. At the end of the day, he helped us win one of those three national championships that we have, or one of those two banners that hang in the Yum Center. Be nice to him. Let's support these kids. Do like y'all did last night. That was an amazing atmosphere. My hat is off to each and every person that was able to sit in there and watch the whole game. And it was a fun time. Wes, Sam, it was a fun time being there. Tanner, you weren't there, so I can't include you.
Yeah, I got stuck on Westport Road.
He got stuck on Westport Road. But, about beating Clemson. Yeah. Amen on that. Listen, we talked about the greatest. This is our guy, Asad Ali. He is, kind of a big deal around the Louisville program. He is an amazing videographer. and been blessed to call him. He's been on one of our podcasts, two of our podcasts. We did the live one, and he was here for one we did at the old studios in the basement. I feel weird every time I tell everybody the old studio was in the basement because it gives me very, very big Sean looking for a date vibes.
We were advertising that he found a date when we were down there too.
Yeah, we did. But aside, love you, brother. Hope to have you on again really, really soon. Yeah, okay. Agreeing with winning at Clemson. Yeah, okay. That's what John had said. I want to go get that win. I want to go send all those happy-go-lucky $2 bill toting, stamping a Clemson paw on every bit of money. Probably have asked for the supervisor at a restaurant to send their food back looking. Checking out a library book, but not returning it till a week later and trying to get the fees resolved. Oh, going to an all-you-can-eat buffet for 8 hours, but only eating twice within those 8 hours to save $1. Okay, I could do this all night. Look, aside, I'm trying to be like Sam, sitting in the courtside seats with the chain. Look, we saw you, bro. That's what it is. We all saw you on the big screen. John Leckerman wants to know, with Harbaugh leaving, any chance of getting some of their players? I don't know. Our guy Joe, he is very, very critical on Twitter, but he's also very reasonable when we talk personally. Well said, Jeremy. Couldn't agree more, brother. At the end of the day, it's Louisville athletics. We love these kids. It's still a sport at the end of the day. Has NIL ruined those kids to an extent? We talked to a couple players about that last night. One of the former players said, look, I was all for being paid to play. I didn't know it was going to make everybody so complacent, and I think that's the biggest issue. I still stand by the fact that we should have given these kids money per game at the end of their graduation date. You give them money to play, but they got to earn it. They can get bonuses for good play, but you don't give it to them until after they leave, so they don't blow it. They're not sitting around, yada, 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 being lazy and stuff, but it is what it is. Again, we thank you all for joining us. It's been an hour and a half of your time, an hour and a half of our time. We love it. We're going to keep bringing these to you all as often as we can. As long as there's something to talk about, we'll be here for the keys to our success here on Live with 55, a.k.a. Wes, for Sam Bazin, the beat writer for both women's basketball, football, and he tries to get behind the scenes with his passes and other sports looking at, and for phenomenal freshman producer / the guy that has helped out with everything. Stop it. No.
And here we go back to Chief Queendom.
No.
No.
I hope you can check off the feeling of an AFC championship loss. That's what I hope.
Dude, I'm torn. So, I don't even. It's gonna be a rough one for me.
You see those football helmets? Where's the two over here on the? I just like making like shadow puppets, and the two over here on the championship belt display have Lamar's signatures on it. None of them have Kansas City Chiefs signatures on it. So that's who I'm going for. Even though it's my rival, I'm going for the Ravens because I don't want to see Taylor Swift again.
Okay, I was about to ask you, is it because of Taylor Swift or is it because the Kansas City Chiefs now are getting towards that New England Patriots kind of life where they were always there and people hated, just wanted to see someone different?
First off, let's not flatter ourselves. The Kansas City Chiefs are just a great value version of the Buffalo Bills. But listen, this is what I'm going to – let's not forget the Buffalo Bills made 4 straight Super Bowls. They lost 4 straight Super Bowls. My big thing with Kansas City is, A, Taylor Swift will be on display the whole time, and I'm ready to shake her off majorly. And secondly, they fired one of my friends, so I don't like them. Now, granted, he went home to Miami, and he's doing his thing in Miami, but they fired my friend. They put Taylor Swift on a pedestal. It is what it is. And I don't like Kansas City Chiefs fans that think they're the next New England Patriots, the next Pittsburgh Steelers, or even the next San Francisco. Heck,
No.
Or even the next Dallas Cowboys.
I don't think we're the next anything. Dude,
You kind of just
nope.
He said it.
No, I said it because that's what I'm hearing now is because people are hating Kansas City because they want to see someone else in there, and that's how it felt like when New England was always there. I don't want to see Tom Brady in there anymore.
The biggest reason, we're just sitting here talking. I didn't even do anything.
You said Taylor Swift, and I was going to ask you.
Before he said that, you panned the Chiefs' kingdom.
She jumped up. She's on my screen, on my projector screen, guys. I didn't do that. I don't know how that happened. Get off my screen, heifer. Well, she did. No. You know who else has 2 Super Bowl wins? The New York Giants. And ain't nobody scared of them coming back and doing anything either. No, my biggest thing is the Taylor Swift fatigue. And they fired my friend. One of the greatest Louisville football players of all time, Sam Madison. Shout out to him, too. But, all right, we'll have another conversation before the Super Bowl. If for some reason our guys in the Super Bowl, we'll do a Super Bowl preview here with the fellas, with Sam, with Wes, with Tanner. We'll see who else gets to come in here. Maybe we can get a side in here to have a good time and holler. But we appreciate y'all's time tonight. We'll be back here soon. I don't know when.
Hey, we get 3.
You got 3. Oh, did y'all win one back in the 50s?
Yeah, I was about to say, wait a second.
Yeah, they won Super Bowl 4, I think.
Yeah.
Oh, I didn't know the Kansas City Chiefs were the Kentucky basketball of the NFL. My bad. All jokes, all love. We appreciate.
Except Kansas City's counted.
Oh yeah, that's true. Kansas City's did count. For Sam, for Wes, for Tanner, for myself, for Cardinal Sports Zone. Thank you for all your support. 10,000 posts. Hope to bring you 10,000 more. We love you guys. I'm just trying to drag on because I'm trying to find the outro video real quick. Found it. Listen, until next. Watch WWE. If you're a wrestling fan, watch the Royal Rumble Saturday so you can see. Lucy, get out of my shot. When did you join? Get out of here. Hold on. Yeah, cover her up with a blanket. For everybody here, check out the Royal Rumble Saturday. It's going to be a good time. I'm going to have some friends over. Hopefully, everybody can make it over. Till next time, this has been Live with 50. Then next time, you'll have a Live with 55 outro made by our guy, Al Cross. This time, you just got to settle for the good old Cardinal Sports Zone Thunder and Lightning show. So we'll be out next time. We're out.